Hey, I'm Maureen Shea here with the Fighting News, and we're here at Lights Out Boxing. We just interviewed Coach Anthony Ham. I am here with the local talent here as well, and actually one of my sparring partners who I'm having the pleasure of interviewing right now, Tayler Tremblay. And so tell me a little bit about your background, and I mean, be honest about where you came from before boxing, because it completely blew me out of the water.
So I'm 27 currently. I grew up in Boca. I played basketball since I was a little kid and played college basketball, D1. So that was my background, all sports, but mainly basketball. I got into boxing a couple years ago just to learn boxing. It wasn't anything that I wanted to fight. I wanted to go pro, anything into that sort. So I just kept on training, and coach was like, hey, you got some talent. You should maybe compete one day. So that was kind of, the future. Okay, maybe I'll compete one day. So I kept on training, finally getting to spar. I got to spar. Dominique was one of the first guys I got to, I got to just hit him. In the beginning, it was just, I got to hit him, which was, a fun feeling. But then from there, it just kept on going. And what's up?
Welcome to boxing gyms.
So it just kept on progressing from there, and then finally in August 2018 I got my first opportunity to fight. It was local. So from there it was, I got my 1-0, and then I kept on training, kept on fighting. I was able to spar with some more girls. I met you just, last year. And, it's been great. And I just been trying to get as many fights as I can. Hopefully maybe the big national tournaments, and then see where I'm going. I don't know exactly what the future is going to hold, but I'm just going to keep fighting because I like, I'm an athlete. So I love competing, and I love being in the gym and competing for a belt, for that win. And, that's the plan.
And that's the first thing that I saw when I first worked with you. You didn't have that many fights, and I was just so impressed with your athleticism, and your composure and the way that you were so coachable. And I always say women are very coachable. Not that the men aren't. No offense to you guys, but women have come a long way now. But and hearing what Anthony Ham was saying, what Coach Ham was saying to you, and then you doing the work and just watching your growth just from when we first started sparring to now. I've just seen you grow, and I'm excited for you. But speak a little bit about the difference, because in basketball you got a team. Boxing is one-on-one. Now I played team sports, and I'm not a team player because I play harder than everybody else, and then I get too aggressive. But what's the difference for you with boxing, and how has basketball helped you with boxing?
I do love the fact that this is a single person sport. It's just me. So if I don't show up, if I don't, go out my hardest, that, it's going to show. And the only person that's going to get hurt is me. So, and it's a little different because you're getting hit. And, but that is a big difference of being on a team. And I do like the fact that it is a single, that I am by myself in a way, because sometimes with teams, there's drama. Some person doesn't want to show up this day. So I do like that fact. As far as my physical, my mental ability in sports, I've been doing it my whole life. Being on a D1, college team, it's a very different caliber than high school. So, it's, basketball is it's 5-6 days, you're in the gym every morning, you got class, you got, after studies, you got everything. Everything revolves around basketball. The physical aspect of it, I started sophomore through senior year. I was a starter, and I averaged probably the most minutes of anybody on the team. My consistency was one of the things that got me all that time. But you get that mental, all those sprints, all those physical workouts that you have to do. You just get that mental toughness, and that when I get in here and I'm like, he's like, you want to go another round? I'm like, inside, no, but yes, but, and he says, when you get tired, you got to keep pushing and just keep pushing yourself, because it shows. And then when you get out, it's like nothing when you finally have to show up and compete. So, it
makes it all worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's really interesting to me because with boxing, boxing isn't a collegiate sport. So balancing not just your athletics, but balancing your studies and your grades and things like that, I think that really gives you really have that practice and that really benefits you here, even though you're not in college anymore, but you know what it's like to have that workload. To have the workload now, I'm sure it's kind of like, I mean,
not easy, but it's different. You know, it's you know, I'm not, this isn't my life, this isn't what I do every day, so it's different because now it's balancing everything else in my life and then keeping, it's basically a hobby, you know. But you know, when you got to train, you got to train, and so it's just a little different than that aspect, but it's something that I want to be here. When I'm here, you know, like I always give 100%. When you play college basketball, there's days that you don't give 100% because it's very tiring and draining, and you know, there's days I was just like, I don't, you know, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. But here, this is a choice for me. I chose to come to boxing. I chose to be, you know, this is more of my choice of wanting to be here every day. And like I said, you're gonna get hit, so I don't want to get hit.
little less forgiving than basketball. But so I want to ask you a question about being, I mean, you know, Coach Anthony Ham said, you know, he has you're the only female. How does it feel being the only female and competitive? Because, you know, I went through that too. So I want to hear it from your perspective.
It doesn't make a difference to me, honestly. You know, growing up, I was a tomboy. A lot of my friends are guys, so just being in a world of guys, it's not that different for me. You know, I get along with everyone. I get the opportunity to spar with them, and they're great. So just being able to get in the ring with them, it's a great opportunity too. But I don't feel, you know, like an outsider in any way. You know, guys are guys, they do what they do. And I'm always, you know, I'm more to myself, you know, as well. I don't need a whole group around me motivating me, you know, but
you don't need anybody clapping while you're hitting the speed bag? You don't need that?
Nah. You know, and when we all do come in here to work, we're all working, you know, and it's great motivation when you are tired and you are, you know, want to quit on that bag or whatever. Everyone's working and we're all pushing together, and that does help. So,
and how is it now training with Anthony Ham? I mean, how has it been? I mean, going forward, I know you got a tournament coming up that you're heading out towards.
He's amazing. He's amazing. I've never been a fan of many of my coaches in my career, mostly basketball. Always had knocked heads with them. I'm stubborn, and also being on a team sport, you know, there's just a lot of issues. So Anthony was probably the one coach that I just love. You know, I'll come here.
Chemistry is very important with coach, and especially male and female. It's important.
Yeah, you know, he's a different type of coach. You know, being on the collegiate level, you know, the coaches, they're very just, you can't do anything. This is, you know, they're very strict on things, and they control you more. Here, we laugh, we joke, we go to tournaments. I mean, he lets me do what I do, and he's just here to coach me, to teach me. And I know walking into boxing, I knew nothing about boxing. You know, I knew zero. I don't know, you know, I knew a couple pro people, you know, I don't know anything. So he came in here, and he, you know, this is his realm. So I'm going to do everything I can to listen to him, because I know what, you know, I see his results. And I know if I listen to him, and I know sometimes I'm like, I don't know if he's right about that. And I see film, I'm like, yeah, he's 100% right. 100% right, you know. So just, you know, I think that respect there is just, you know, I don't know if I would want to get coached by anyone else right now, because we gel very well together, and he's made me love boxing even more. So. Yeah. Well,
that's so important. So now you have a tournament coming up. You're going to an all-female tournament in Atlanta.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that. I mean, didn't you just fight in a tournament? Hold on, I got it. Chorizo's giving me problems. All right, buddy. There you go. I got him. Okay. So I mean, you were in another tournament, right? You've done some tournaments.
So I've been to 3 of the Sugar Berts.
Yes.
So I have 6 total fights. And one was a local fight, and then the others have been 3 Sugar Berts. They were all in Orlando, and then Punta Gorda was one of them. And then I went to this Atlanta Classic, I believe it's called. It's hosted by Sweet Science. They're in Atlanta. And there was the first tournament last year, and I went there and I won. So I got 2 fights and I won. And then, so I'm coming back. It's an all-female tournament, which is great. Because it's hard to find, you know, female fight. You know, it's hard to get those fights, especially when you're new. So, you know, we found this great tournament. I got to fight twice. It's a really nicely run tournament. Everything's on time. You know, you're not waiting hours in line to get your weigh-in and stuff. Nice location. So, we wanted to go back. It's a lot of fun, and, hopefully bring back the pink belt.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited for you, and I'm happy to even be a part of your preparations as well. And is there anywhere anybody can follow you? Is any?
Well, I do have an Instagram, but I've only posted like 3 pictures of me with belts. I don't post too much about my progress in boxing, but you can, my name is Tayler Tremblay, Tayler, and then Tremblay. It's Tremdilla Trem is my actual Instagram username. You could. You can follow my travels as well.
Yes, you have. I follow her travels. I follow this. I'm just like, I want to do that. I want to do that. No, it's so awesome, Tayler. Thank you so much, and everybody at the Fighting News. We all wish you, the best. Break a face, break some ribs out there. Somebody else's, not yours, and come back with that belt, and we'll be here, ready to hear about it.
Thank you.
And.